Hi, I'm Erin. Every year we grow more produce than we can sell in the market gardens. That's a good problem to have. It means lots of veggies for canning and plenty of veggie scraps for our pigs and chickens. Since 2015, we've had another avenue for extra produce that helps feed people in our community. Find out how we share the harvest on Our Wyoming Life. This summer, we received $100 in our P.O. box from a subscriber. He had a simple note for us. Take this money and donate vegetables from your gardens to your local food bank. Please make a video about how anybody can donate excess produce to their local food banks. The Gillette Saturday Farmers Market seeks to build a vibrant and inclusive community market that promotes development of our regional food system, supports local farmers, ranchers, producers, and artisans, and provides high-quality food to all residents of our community. That is our mission statement. The last sentence of our mission statement is one of the most important things that I have ever worked on in my life. Access to high-quality food for all residents of our community. Food is an absolute necessity to life, but it's something that every single community in the entire world struggles with. In every city and town, you will find people who are hungry. Sometimes it's obvious, and sometimes it's hidden. It might be your neighbor, friend, or family member, and you may have no idea the struggle that they are going through every day to have enough to eat. A few years ago, our market started down a path to help people. I don't run the market alone, and Megan is the brains and creator of most of our programs.
I'm Megan McManaman, and I am the co-market manager of the Gillette Saturday Farmers Market, and I also help coordinate Market SNAP program. So Share the Harvest is a program Market started back in 2015. It was one of the first projects I started working on when Erin invited me to help her co-manage the farmers market.
Did I invite you or did I just tell you?
I think I was volunteered.
Okay.
And basically, Share the Harvest started with the simple mission of reducing food waste at market. But as we developed partnerships with the Council of Community Services and with Sensible Nutrition, we discovered that food insecurity is a real issue in our community. And so the program kind of morphed into tackling the issue of food insecurity in Gillette, Wyoming. So Share the Harvest began with producers donating unsold and excess produce to our local soup kitchen, food bank, and homeless shelter. And from that, it kind of grew into cookware donation drives, it grew into an edible garden planting day, and free little pantries. And so essentially the premise behind the entire program is that every week vendors will donate that produce and it goes to families in need.
Share the Harvest, a simple idea with a big impact. There's always leftover produce at market. I might wash 15 bundles of kohlrabi, and come the close of market, I sometimes still have kohlrabi still sitting on my table. It's really tricky to predict the market demand every week. Before 2015, I always struggled with what to do with the leftovers. Of course, some of it still comes home with me, and we eat a lot of the leftovers. Our chickens and pigs are also a great way for produce to not go to waste. Now, my leftovers can have a better use than feeding our animals. People in our community can enjoy healthy, fresh garden produce every week. And trust me, the animals still get lots of veggies. Washing day always creates a ton of scraps. That now goes to the pigs and chickens, and leftover edible produce goes to Share the Harvest. This next part is a little hard to talk about, and I really hate how selfish I sound and feel. In the early days of the program, part of me struggled with donating. I've always supported the program 100%, and I knew that donating was absolutely the right thing to do. But those veggies, they were my hard work. They were months and months of hard work, and I was just giving it away. Every week since the creation of the program, if I've had leftovers, I've donated them. But a small part of me that first year struggled with it. And then my perception changed, and my feelings on the inside began to match my outward enthusiasm for the program. I don't know exactly when the shift occurred, but I do remember starting to hear the feedback that Megan was getting from the council. People were excited for the veggies. They were thankful and they were grateful. Then I started to think about how the gardens impact my life now and how gardens impacted my life as a child. In the summer, I don't really buy vegetables from the grocery store. And once we started raising beef and pork, I don't buy much meat from the grocery store either. Our grocery bill goes way down in the summer. When I think back to my childhood, I always remember the garden. Almost every year we had a garden. I remember big bowls of salad in the early summer, and I remember picking peas and shelling them and eating them right in the garden. I remember plates full of sliced tomatoes with lots of salt and pepper on them, and corn on the cob by my birthday in August. I remember the fall coming and my mom working hard to can and freeze for the winter. And I remember opening a jar of canned tomatoes in the wintertime and tasting summertime in a jar. Just like most families, my family went through financial ups and downs. I remember one year where trips to the grocery store were fewer and the fridge in the pantry grew emptier than I had ever seen it between shopping trips. We never went without meals. My mom made sure of that somehow, but we were definitely less food secure for a while. But I remember the garden always being a constant in our life. There were still big bowls of salad and plates of tomatoes and jars of veggies put away for the winter. The gardens created food security for us. Mike can tell stories of commodity cheese and peanut butter during his childhood, but his family didn't have gardens, and there were none of those wonderful fresh veggies available, which might explain why he's not a big veggie eater now. It was once I remembered my own story that my perspective changed about donating. Instead of being a chore and something that I felt somewhat obligated to do, it became something that was necessary for me to do. I needed to share the harvest. I could buy food for my chickens and pigs and just give them the scraps from washing day. At the end of the market day, if I can't eat or repurpose what's left on my table, it goes to the Council of Community Services, no questions asked.
In 2017, our vendors donated $1,182 worth of produce and baked goods to the Council of Community Services that went into food bags to feed the needy in our community.
In the grand scheme of things, $1,182 isn't going to solve hunger in our community. But when it comes to food insecurity, every dollar, every meal, and every bag of produce donated makes a noticeable difference in one person or one family's lives. Our donating doesn't end with the gardens. Every year, right before we restock the freezers with our beef and pork, we clean out the freezers. We take unsold roast, ham, stew meat, and whatever else to the council. Often, it's more than $1,000 in beef and pork. Sharing the harvest is something that we can all do. Most community soup kitchens, food banks, or homeless shelters will take your excess produce. Find out in your community where your donations can go. Give them a call and arrange how you can share your harvest. Although we don't know the name of our anonymous donor, I want to truly thank you from the bottom of our hearts. $100 was a huge amount of produce. It will make an impact in people's lives. More than anything though, I'm humbled that our donor would help feed people in my community. That money could have been donated to his local food bank, but instead it was sent to us, and I hope I have done it justice. And I hope that I have shared the message of how everyone can share their harvest. For more from the gardens and the ranch, make sure that you subscribe. Mike will be back on Sunday, and it's time to sort the bulls from the cows. I hope today that you've explored the ranch life and escaped the ordinary, and thanks for joining me in Our Wyoming Life.